What's going on, guys? RonMan coming back at you, and today we're taking a look at the Flintstones Treasure of Sierra Madrock for the Super Nintendo. Also, if you're new here and you like my content, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe buttons, as well as that bell notification so you stay up to date with RonMan Gaming. The Flintstones Treasure of Sierra Madrock was developed and published by Taito for the Super Nintendo in March of 1994. Sierra Madrock is an action platformer with an overworld that's structured like a board game. Throughout the board, along with all the platforming stages, you'll also run into fun parks where you can spend your clams to play different mini-games, and cafes where you can buy life-replenishing drinks. While on the overworld, press Y to roll the die, then move that number of spaces. Whether you're playing alone or with another player, you always control both Fred and Barney. In total, there are 5 worlds, or boards, all of which have different themes. The goal of each world is to catch up with a particular Flintstones character for a chance to challenge them to a Mode 7 race. If you win the race, you'll get the MacGuffin, which allows you to move on to the next board. If you die or run out of time, you'll lose a life and go back to where you were on the overworld before you rolled the die. On the overworld, you'll occasionally see Betty and Wilma. If they happen to catch up to you, they'll drag you to another spot on the board. The place they bring you is arbitrary, and I'm honestly not too sure why this was programmed into the game. Thankfully, it's never more than a minor inconvenience, but it makes me wonder, why is this a thing if it really doesn't amount to anything? The levels are all pretty small, although I like to call them bite-sized, which is good because there are a lot of levels in this game. There's not a whole lot to say about the level design. It's just a lot of platforming, knocking guys with your club, climbing trees, and just trying to not get killed. It's good, but because it's not too in-depth, the levels can start to feel repetitive after a while. You don't necessarily have to beat every level in a world. Again, you just have to win the MacGuffin before you move on to the next world. But if you do want to play every level, that's absolutely your prerogative, and you might want to because all these bite-sized levels are a lot of fun to play. Every time you win a level, you'll have a chance to win extra lives by this bingo-style game. The last number on the timer will fall down and get added to the board. When you make a line, you'll win lives. If you win a number that you already have, you'll instead get an apple which replenishes 1 heart. Up at the top, your life bar, represented by these hearts, is clearly visible. It's so clear, in fact, that I didn't even need to tell you that, which is the way it should be. I just wanted to point out how sometimes we take very simple concepts for granted. It's nice that in this game the life meter is a simple life meter, unlike the idiotically designed life meter in the Flintstones movie game that I reviewed last time. You can also find heart containers throughout the levels to permanently increase your life meter. You'll come across many items like stars, apples, clams, or cake. The clams are this game's currency, but everything basically boils down to either replenishing your life meter or scoring extra lives, and thankfully extra lives are plentiful. The controls work perfectly. You attack with your club, you run with L or R, and this meter here represents your energy. The energy is used to control the speed at which you fall. Think of it like having the cape in Super Mario World, except here you have to pay attention to and manage your energy. The graphics are spot on. The characters look exactly how they should. It almost feels like playing an episode of the cartoon show. The music is also very well done. They really did the Flintstones theme some justice. For an action platformer, Sierra Madrock is actually pretty long. No battery backup here, instead there's a password. Imagine writing that one down back in the 90s before you could just snap a picture with your smartphone. When it comes to the difficulty, I've seen other reviewers remark that this game is way too easy. Well, yeah, it is an easy game, but I think that's a slight misrepresentation. When you get to the final world, it can be pretty tricky. Most of these levels have tough to avoid death traps. On top of that, when you take damage, your character character will spin and make an obnoxious noise. While your character is spinning, you can't jump or attack. If you're running at the time you take damage, you'll spin, but you'll also keep moving. There were quite a few spots where this would lead to my death. Maybe it's just me, but I found the first level in the final world the hardest. Why is the first level the hardest? I just could not get past this part here. If you fall in the water, you're dead. And again, when an enemy hits you, you're completely disabled for a few seconds. You have to make it to that ledge there, but I just could not manage to pull it off. This platform here submerges after a couple seconds, and these loser bats make it all the more difficult. Also, this game has a time limit. I only ever noticed it in this final world because many of these stages really don't give you a lot of time. Throughout the rest of the game, none of these issues were really a problem, but this final world made them very apparent. Now, I'm not saying this final world is Battletoads. I mean, I still beat it with only yelling an obscenity at the TV one time. I'm just saying it wasn't a walk in the park either. All in all, yes, the Flintstones is an easy game, but I've played easier. So that's all there really is to say about the Flintstones Treasure of Sierra Madrock. You know, playing this game, especially coming off of that Flintstones movie game, was just such a breath of fresh air. This Flintstones game is fantastic, and I'm really happy with it. If you're looking to track down a copy, well, the price is starting to creep up. At the time of recording this video, it goes for around $88 Canadian, which is about $64 American. You know, it's kind of funny because this game here, the Sierra Madrock, came out just over a year before the Flintstones movie game, so it's weird that, like, you'd think that Ocean would have maybe looked at this game for some inspiration to maybe make their game not such a piece of crap, but nope, they were just happy to release dog crap. But thankfully we do have this Flintstones game. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm RonMan, and I'll catch you in the next video.